Hello. Pardon me. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Toad. Hi, Citrona. I hope everyone's been having a good week so far. Welcome in. I am tired. I went to sleep at almost 4 a.m. last night, which is obviously not great, but I think daylight saving time existing isn't helping me recognize if I need to sleep or not. And it's especially the case right now because it's hard to tell what time of day it is since the 1 hour adjustment is intense. Especially since the times where I'm out and about and seeing the sun, which is really happy, which is very helpful for me to know what time it is, because, you know, that's when I go to work, that's when I come back home, and that's when sunrise and sunset are happening. My sense of timekeeping is a little off from that. I'm honestly not tired. I'm tired all the time. But I got home, and I was feeling okay. And when I was doing stuff at work today, I was pretty okay. Which, you know, granted, I actually work pretty fine with only like 6 hours or 4.5 hours of sleep. Not that I should work with that, but my body is very capable of working with just that amount of sleep somehow. But it's okay. Hopefully tonight I'll have more self-control and go to sleep at a proper time, because I only slept that late last night because of some silly hooligan nonsense. Maybe it wasn't 4 a.m. Maybe it was just 3 a.m. I actually don't remember. It was very late. The point was, it was a lot later than my midnight/1 a.m. bedtime, and that is really bad. And 1 a.m. is already pushing it. Today will be different. Hopefully. Question mark. If you're wondering about what tonight is, this past weekend we dedicated entirely to Chants of Sonar, which we finished. Very awesome game. I'm very sad that it was really short, but maybe that's just because I have the linguistic knack for it to just get through it quickly, and also I love puzzles, so maybe that also helped with like a majority of like the game. I'm gonna close this. There we go. And so because the weekend was fully dedicated to only one game, there was another game in rotation that we will be playing tonight, and that is Haunted Cities Volume 4 by Kitty Horrorshow, also recommended by Citrona. This one was recommended before my hiatus over winter break, and now I'm here, going to play it. So I do have it pinned in chat. It's 4 games in this anthology, and I've compiled all of the content warnings into this one pin message, which is also on Discord. Is a horror, psychological, suspense, atmospheric, surreal type anthology, as far as I know. So these content warnings are given, and of course, because I tend to be very chill with tackling this sort of content on a general basis, this should not be particularly surprising. But overall, let me see here. Most, if not all, of the games have pretty intense themes in this, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be so great. But I'll read it out right now, just for the record for anyone that's watching and stuff. The major content warnings for this anthology include death, oppression, body horror, emotional child and family abuse, suicide and or death ideation, violence, depression, and substance addiction. Again, I'm going to say that one more time. It's this anthology that we are playing will feature death, oppression, body horror, emotional child and family abuse, suicide and or death ideation, violence, depression, and substance addiction. If these are things that make you maybe not super comfortable, please feel free to step away, because I do occasionally play stuff like this or discuss that sort of stuff also. But especially for this stream/VOD, please go ahead and do what you need to do if you don't feel comfy engaging with this sort of stuff. Hi Acer. Body horror is basically kind of like gore, but it also involves very distorted views of the body. That can include things like multiple limbs, a mangled body, things like weird clumps of like flesh and stuff, things that look like body parts but are formed in a way that doesn't resemble a normal human body, things like that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and switch over, and it looks like the folders in this anthology are all listed alphabetically, but it also turns out that the README also lists the controls and everything alphabetically, which is great. Kitty Horrorshow developed these games between 2018 and 2019, and this anthology, I believe, was released in 2020. So let's get ready to go. Okay, I'm going to have to take a moment to set things up, so please be patient with me while I go ahead and load up our first game. So the first game we'll be playing in this anthology is called Exclusion Zone. And I'll go ahead and also read off the content warnings as we keep going. Exclusion Zone actually doesn't have any specified content warnings according to the document. So that'll be interesting. Okay. Looks like these are all Unity based, according to the program icons. Whether or not this is full screen or not, we'll go ahead and see. Oh, how nice! It lets me do some configuration before I go ahead and do the game. Let's do it that way, so I can do my 720p windowed. Window is not responding. Oh my. Please give me a moment, game. Ooh. Okay, hold on, game. Let me. Why are there two? Okay, there we go. Cool. But yes, please lurk if you need to, do whatever it is you need. This is Exclusion Zone. Side note, you got to watch Dune Part 2 today. Definitely recommend. Very pretty, very epic. Nice. I'm not like... Okay, temple. I guess let's just follow this lit path. Oh, I can jump? I was like, I wonder what happens if I press my spacebar. Ooh. Oh, I can run by holding shift. These are interesting lamps, torches. Like a lot of other like lit paths apparently. That looks like a crater. I can't keep... Why are there stairs here? I can't keep holding space to jump, unfortunately. Can I just go up like this? Oh. Based on local historical records and the architecture of the region, we are confident that it was a religious structure of some kind. However, its arrangement and composition are unlike any similar religious structures of the era or territory, despite superficial architectural similarities. Previous examination teams have failed to recover any furnishings, artifacts, devices, etc. that would expressly describe the, henceforth, temple's purpose, and while local accounts, examinations of ambient radiation patterns, and simple visual observation of the surrounding countryside leave it beyond question that the temple was the epicenter of the devastation. We remain entirely ignorant as to how it was that the disaster came to pass. This remains the chief objective of all examination teams dispatched to the exclusion zone. Also, pardon, I did notice that in my audio mixer, this is a lot louder, since I can't really control the audio of this. Oh. Okay, I thought return meant return to the game, so I am a little iffy on that off the bat. That's just a personal ick. I have to redo the audio capture too. Give me a moment, folks. Sorry about that. Let me actually go ahead and lower the OBS audio mixer really quick since I'm here. Okay, so that way, when we have to go through that text cutscene, we don't get attacked hearing-wise, I guess is the best way I can word it. All I'm getting the gist of it so far is that I guess either we're heading away, because we just left what looks like a temple. And this is when it's going to happen. Okay. A religious structure, and we don't recognize it, or it doesn't align with any religions that we know of the area or territory. The purpose of the temple is confusing, but it appears to be an epicenter of some sort of devastation. Okay, let's enter. Well, I guess it waits for a bit before it allows me to press enter again. Okay, so I guess we'll just keep going. Oh. Oh, I see. We are approaching the actual thing. Are we, like, entering the temple? Is that what we're going to do? Whoa. This is some weird-ass architecture. Okay, we're having another cutscene soon? The swooping asymmetrical fins of the forward sheltered area have been something of a mystery to previous examination teams. Their shape and positioning perfectly enables them to gather moisture from the air on balmy days, back when the climate of the area had not been irreparably changed, and such days were still possible, which is then channeled into the shallow reflecting pool set into the floor in order that they be kept filled with water. However, this almost artistic asymmetry is not present in any other part of the structure, and such a break in uniformity is in stark contrast. Quite a bit of reading. In stark contrast to many of the fundamental religious tenets of the surrounding area. Put plainly, it seems an ornamental indulgence that makes no sense to us given what little we know about those who might have occupied the area. One examiner discovered deep channels between the stones at the bottoms of the pool, which seemed to run downward some distance, but were too narrow and solid to be inspected further. Theory suggests some manner of sieve, a mechanism for gathering and storing potable water, or possibly even a cooling system for subterranean parts of the structure as yet undiscovered. Future examination teams may be dispatched with equipment suited to further exploration of these possibilities. My inner graphic designer is yelling because the whole typography setup of the way those quote-unquote cutscene texts are presented are very not good. But I like the atmosphere that we're being presented with so far. It's very eerie to get like to hear that sound and then be suddenly whoa. And to get that sound and then be suddenly hit with the cutscene, and like everything is so colorful too when you get that cutscene. Whoa. Whoa. So like it's so pretty, these parts. The central chamber beneath the tower would be, by all accounts, the part of the temple used for communal prayer and administrative gatherings. Such is the case with other religious facilities of the region, all of which feature a similar central chamber. However, given the doubt raised as to the actual purpose of the temple, we are disinclined from making such assumptions. One detail that we find to be most curious regarding the chamber is the fact that not a single one of the examination teams dispatched to the exclusion zone has ever recovered any kind of talisman or artifact within. Nothing so much as a scrap of cloth or particle of ash. While other areas of the temple show clear signs of damage and dilapidation, the interior chamber is immaculate, almost deliberately so. Scavengers are rarely so delicate in their work, which rules out the possibility of the chamber having simply been picked clean by opportunistic locals. Also curious is the fact that despite its location directly beneath the extremely radioactive tower, the inner chamber is consistently found to be one of the least irradiated areas of the complex. The stone from which the temple is constructed has no particular insulative properties, which makes this something of a mystery to us. We have continued to look into possible causes for this anomaly, but the absolute lack of salvable material has proved a severe hindrance to our efforts. I have some more graphic design yelling in regards to it being on a partially bright background. These sound effects are so eerie. I'm going to take the time to remind everyone as a graphic design tip, you should not put text over photos. Especially very, very complicated photos. As you just saw with the text being over that colorful image of the chamber. There's so much around here. Can I just like explore wherever I want then? Like I could head this way, I guess. What is this? Ooh. Floating lanterns? Their overlook for a mercy is one feature of the temple which can at least partially be explained. Were it not for the exclusion wall, the overlook would provide a grandiose view of the nearby lake, which is a feature the temple shares with all similar structures of the region. All are built in proximity to an inland body of water, generally at elevation, and all feature an overlook of similar construction extending from the main structure and pointing toward aforementioned body. This is of some interest to us because we have at least some evidence to suggest that the temple was built with the specific purpose of performing whatever unique machinations precipitated the disaster, thus making the construction of an overlook something of a concession. If the temple's original purpose was not the practice of the local religion, then the overlook would be superfluous. It is possible that some of the temple's residents maintained their old beliefs, and therefore necessitated the overlook's construction, which opens the possibility that the temple's purpose may not be an entirely religious one after all. It has also been suggested that it was meant merely as a prop, a visual misdirection, intended to convince locals from a distance that all atop the lakeside hill was normal, and that nothing untoward was being conducted. Some of us find this possibility to be somewhat cynical, but it cannot be ruled out. Look at this overlook. Hope I don't accidentally fall down. Can't really see anything at all. It's interesting. We head toward the big tower maybe then? These crackling sounds remind me of like the default deltas in Minecraft in the Nether. Is that an elevator inside? Note to examination team. Extreme caution advised when approaching main tower of temple complex. Ambient radiation at dangerous levels. Protracted proximity to tower heavily discouraged. Eventual fatalities extremely likely. The tower, being the obvious centerpiece of the temple structure, is presumed by most of us to be the nucleus of the disaster. The continuing extremes of ambient radiation originating from the tower's apex prevent approach, which has stymied all direct attempts at investigation into the disaster's most probable epicenter, and by extension, the entire temple's expressed role in the calamity. This has long frustrated us for obvious reasons. It is exceedingly difficult to piece together the specifics of such a unique event using only secondary accounts, archaeological hints, and speculation. Most believe the answer to everything is waiting there at the tower's highest point, but our curiosities go ever unsatisfied. We have been looking into potential alternative means of inspection, including possible aerial passes, long-range examination from atop the exclusion wall, the training and application of Eastern Gervultures due to their intelligence, manual dexterity, and immunity to most known forms of radiation, and, all other options failing, complete demolition of the tower at its base with hope of a resultant dispersal or reduction of ambient radiation, allowing for approach. So, there's like radiation everywhere. Whoa, how are we? Are we like an actual thing exploring, or are we like are we an actual individual exploring, or are we simply like an omnipotent being just kind of going through, you know? From the recovered notes of Examiner Saturna, deceased. She was wronged. None of this would have happened had her sisters not wronged her so. She would not have been so lonesome, wouldn't have called out like she did. She'd have kept her old worshippers, the one who knew how to build her temples and channel her stones. The one that came from where she came from. She wouldn't have had to call out across the sea to a place she wasn't known. They only tried to love her and honor her here, but our stones are not like her stones, and our air is not like her air, and that's what caused it. That's why it happened, I'm sure of it. She will be vilified once her name is learned, but it was her sisters who broke her up and threw her down. Gods above, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it. How long she must have lain there under the sand, hurting and lonely and angry, not knowing what she did wrong. And now this. So much devastation, just because she wanted to be loved, and because they wanted to love her but didn't know how. And now she's alone again, wherever she is. I don't know how to pray to her. I would if I could. Maybe just thinking about how sorry I am for everything she's gone through will be enough. I'm sorry, sister. You deserved better. This was not your fault. Apparently this part used to go up and down, but we go up this crystal, and they like... Hold on, let me just also make sure, because it's also controls. Okay. But there's no other controls to work with. What does the Geiger counter sound like? I'm just trying to think, like, maybe these sounds are like akin to a Geiger counter of some. Where should I go from here? I just go down this way, maybe? Wee! Wee! Look at these arches. They're so pretty. Is there anything in particular over here? Yep. Nope. Ooh. It is reasonable to assert that the exterior area to the north of the main structure was a plot of some kind. Many such monasteries and isolated religious communes of the time featured similar outdoor areas, used traditionally to cultivate a staple crop that the temple's residents could survive on or use for trade with nearby settlements. However, it remains impossible for us to determine just what was grown here. Soil traces betray no sign of any of the plants indigenous to the area, or indeed any surrounding regions from which seeds may have been imported. Stranger still, radiation of a kind entirely unique to that modest plot can still be found in the soil, suggesting the growth of some kind of radioactive plant with an extraordinary half-life, distinct even from the radiation that filled the area in the wake of the disaster. Absolutely no historical accounts of such a plant exist in any archive throughout the entire peninsula. Consequently, this small area of ground is of great interest to us. Examination teams are encouraged to check the area thoroughly for anything that might provide further information, no matter how seemingly minuscule. Crystals. The sounds seem to come like from that, like the sound from the crystal up there. These are interesting arches. So what is this way? What is this? Is this a shore? Easily the most baffling part of the temple at large is the pair of cairn stones on the shore at the bottom of the steps northwest of the complex. Nearly everything about them seems at odds with the rest of the structure, and with the region itself. They are of a material that eludes identification and which cannot be located anywhere else on the peninsula. Their arrangement, and indeed their very presence, suggest a kind of clandestine purpose that would likely be considered paganistic, possibly even heretical when juxtaposed um, with the dominant religion of the time and territory, yet it is obviously too close to the temple to have been kept hidden. The glowing arches lining the stone steps which lead to the shore were found to have been constructed after the temple itself. But the cairns themselves, hitherto impossible to date accurately, are highly presumed to have been there for much longer, suggesting a deliberate acknowledgement of the cairns and the arch's construction. Finally, higher examination teams have found traces of a kind of energetic charge in the air around the cairns, not radioactive yet with a similar half-life to radiation, and distinct from both the fallout of the disaster and the radiation found in the soil of the plots just north of the main structure. While it seems safe to assume that the cairns can have had little to do directly with the catastrophe, both their purpose and their existence remains something of a fascination to us. Examination teams are encouraged to check the surrounding area, but are cautioned against protracted proximity. Many examiners who remained in the cairn's immediate presence for more than several minutes began experiencing symptoms similar to a combination of radiation poisoning and etheric plague, with at least one case resulting in death. Examination complete. Oh. Assessment. No significant new findings. Oh, I can go into the water. Return to exclusion wall bulkhead for extraction. Oh, okay. I was about to just keep going into the water, but okay. Why are they doing this to her? She's just a girl. I don't know what that means, but okay. I hope I remember the way back. I know it's like a lit path or something, but I have a feeling I might get lost on the way back. I think if we just go up this way, we should be able to follow the normal path that we used initially. Dangerous levels of radiation detected. Beginning quarantine procedures. Stand by for extraction. Okay. So I guess that was exclusion zone. Interesting. They're poking and prodding at her for the name of science. Was she not devastated enough? I think I'd have to be looking up the themes to see what you're actually referring to. Haunted. When is Haunted Cities Volume 4? I wonder if there's anything where Kitty Horrorshow explains the themes of these games. Let's see. Hmm. You love the tone change in the entry in the tower? Yeah, that's the only thing that, like, signifies anything specific other than this being some sort of, like, radioactive zone of destruction, which is fascinating. Um, but I guess before I start thinking about it a little more with absolute science in the background, let's move on to the next game in the anthology, which is called Grandmother's Garden. Get digging. I'm going to hope I remember these controls because these ones are a little more complicated than the previous one. Grandmother's Garden is when we'll start seeing actual content warnings. So we'll have death, oppression, body horror, and emotional/child abuse for this one. Hello there. I have to do the settings as usual. Play. There's blood beneath her fingernails and bile on her boots, and a stirring in her stomach from the stinging of the roots. Okay, hold on. Hold on, buddy. Mother's Garden. Let's do the capture. I don't have a shovel. Okay. Oh. It's this sort of game. Okay. Enter the house. He likes the song of crickets and the swirling of the flies, and the way the scarlet locusts seem to hunger for her eyes. Okay, I think this is like my first time playing games like this where I have to like touch her shoulder. Can I just walk in front of her? Hello. Take the shed keys. Thank you. Taken. Okay. Examine the elderly woman. Sitting in that chair is all she does anymore. I can never tell if she's awake or asleep. Maybe she's neither or both at the same time. I don't like her very much, but I suppose that means she belongs here. She's a part of this place. I'm a part of this place too. I don't like thinking about that. She won't even look at me. Her eyes have become roomy and opaque. They move like she's watching something, but I can't imagine what. She just looks so tired. Every breath looks like it hurts. I don't like her, but... Grandmother, why not just let her rest? I didn't realize it technically got going. You'll post an analysis video, Kitty Horrorshow's work? Thanks. Have a good night, Toad. Thank you for chilling with us, even though it was really brief. I gave you forehead kisses, moi. Let's see. I'm going to be a little less proactive with reading stuff out loud because the first one was a lot. So I'm going to be skimming over things a little more. Okay. Does it say get digging? It says get digging. Now that I'm looking at it a little closer. What is this? Read the holy book. The boy came to a clearing where a great bloated tick wallowed in shallow pond and filled his mouth with leeches. Hierophant, the roaches will have the teeth of men. The wasps will have not stingers but tongues, and the worms will twist themselves into knots until they are torn and bleeding. Prius sank into the mud, which whispered to her oils and secrets. Interesting. Bugs are a big theme in her work, I see. Feels like a coat made of leather leaves. It throbs and whispers. Vital but not warm. You can feel... Okay, well. Where is the shed? I'm not very used to these controls. Oh, I can just hold shift to go faster. Okay. I should have figured that. This does not look like a direction that the shed would be in. Never mind. I want to find the shed. Show me the shed. That's a tree. These changing angles are going to really fuck me up. Where exactly is this shed? Is this like the entrance to the estate or something? Ah, what is this? Examine the swaying vein. Sure. Grandmother's taproot. One day it'll grow into a massive tree, seething and terrible and vivacious. It knows the taste of 10 different monsters. Its flesh is constantly whispering, demanding more. Hi Magic, thank you for the lurk. A headstone. A murderer is buried here. Gnarled and stabbed the whole time, and we finally had to fill his mouth with stones and burn away his arms. Interesting. This one? A liar was buried here. I remember watching as his hands and feet turned to tongues as we lowered him into the ground. He slipped off the rope and fell apart. A lecture was buried here. The only memory I have is grandmother whispering to me, telling me to throw cockroaches at the body while it was being covered in dirt. Back then, each cockroach filled my whole hand. An extortionist is buried here. I had to carve up the faces of 100 coins to bury with the body. My knife kept slipping and cutting my fingers. I cried and got shouted at for it. I was too young. She shouldn't have made me help her. Oh, okay. I would like to read this one. A dissident is buried here. Grandmother always hated dissidents the most. I wanted to read some of his writings, but she never let me. Even with the centipedes tunneling through his eyes, he hurled accusations. A voyeur is buried here. He was buried with his eyes open, held that way by strips of tape. The body was laughing, an uncomfortable wheezing laugh I can still remember. A blasphemer is buried here. He frightened me. As the body lay in the earth, it looked to me and whispered, "Reject the worm's child." Grandmother split his skull with a root and made me say grace to the pallid queen for the rest of the night. An arsonist is buried here. I had built a dollhouse and I was so proud of how its spires twisted and its veranda swallowed itself. He broke into the shed just to burn it down. He was the first one I ever buried all by myself. A thief is buried here. One of the ones I buried alone. Even as I poured the soil, the body kept sprouting hands that groped blindly at the roots in the surrounding earth. I had to sing to distract myself. An exterminator is buried here, the greatest monster of them all. He murdered so many. Not a word was spoken as we buried him. He just listened to the sizzling of the fluid as it boiled his skin away. A murderer... Okay. Interesting. Ooh, okay. Okay, this rotating angle is really intense. Examine the roots. Every day there's more of them. They look like they're flowing toward the garden this time. Huh. Interesting. Is there like a sign or something that I can like read or something? No. What is this? What is this way? Me trying to navigate this is a little difficult. Better than first-person 3D, which would make me really motion sick, I guess. Ooh. Oh, wow. Well. Grandmother and I use it to draw fluids from the veins below. What fluid we get depends on which phase the moon is in. Oops. Wait. Oh, I accidentally skipped through the dialogue. Man. I hate it when that happens. Viscous gurgling of fluid far below. Okay, I'm still looking for the shed. What is that? Oh well. Is this the shed? Has to be it, right? Enter the tool shed. Shed time. Where are places where grass catches water from the sky? If you run outside when else shoes or socks, the ground is gentle and sweet and nothing is buried there that can't be talked about. Sure. Okay. Shovel! Where am I digging? Am I supposed to go to those graves? If you put your hands to the ground and go real still, you can feel them thumping down underneath the earth, dirt, angry. There's no reason to dig here. Okay. To the place. For sure, interesting noises in the background. Can I follow the roots? No? Am I supposed to be digging here? Do I dig here? I shouldn't upset them. She'll know, she'll feel it. Okay, never mind. Do I dig in just the garden area near the house? Oh, birds. I am digging. I just keep digging. Blood bells have gathered on the arms of the irrigators. I hate how quiet they are, just completely silent. Can you like speed up this digging? I guess digging takes a while. I can't rush it. Digging, digging. More digging. I have a bad feeling. Should I try this one? I don't want to keep doing this. I want to stop. Something's going to happen to me. Why is she digging in the first place? I can examine the irrigator. I feed the irrigators feed the roots. The roots feed, I don't know, her, I guess. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay, well, I guess that's it for Grandmother's Garden. I could see where the body horror comes in, so that was pretty cool. Interesting. Well, we just did Grandmother's Garden, so let's go ahead and move to the next one. The third game of this anthology is called Lethargy Hill. The content warnings for this one specifically are family and emotional abuse, violence, depression, suicidal ideation, and substance addiction. So let's jump into it. Okay, I get to do the graphic settings window. Oh, there's actually less graphic settings for this one compared to the first two. The Earth Churn. Okay, hold. And the house is what came out. Gruesome little cluster of verandas and spires, gables and windows. The earth kept raising. Okay, it still is going while I am getting this thing going. Okay, sure. Show up? There you go. Tick filling with blood drank from the earth all around it, and in that way laid claim all to be the house. Bedrooms and drawing rooms and halls and attics. Kitchens and bathrooms and nurseries, all dark. Oh, this one might give me motion sickness. Only some of those windows let any light in, but there's only one basement, and it was where she lived. The matriarch. Reaching rat queen cluster of veins and connective tissue. And grinning, gnashing mouths. It was her house. Okay. She wanted a family. Needed a few loved ones to live with her. I was lonely in all those. Oh, there should be more here. No one walking through them, all that emptiness like a ringing in her ears, but visitors weren't exactly knocking down her doors. She'd have to make some. You'd need a husband. Yeah, that would be nice. Man of the house to shuffle around the hallways at night, making sure doors were kept. Ooh. What to do? Windmill? Can't really look up or down. Few pieces of herself to grow into little drones so that she could get to work. Interesting. The drone spread out into the forest, her hands and her eyes. What do I need to make a husband? She thought to herself. The drones gathered up a great many twigs and sticks and fallen branches. Had all these plans for this place. She could use tea hair from the bodies of the people who got sick whenever they came to explore the woods. Tie the sticks together, give her husband a handsome coif? Coif? 2 long arms, 2 long legs, a long body, and a long head, all held together with the glue of old broom? The drones could eat the rest. They earned it. So soon she had a husband. He was just how she wanted. Milling through the halls, squeezing and click-clacking his twiggy hands against the walls and doors and windows, dragging his feet and giving sweet little whimpering cries. It was nice not to be alone anymore. Still, it wasn't enough. She didn't want to be a couple, she wanted a family. A sister would be nice, she thought. Someone to scream at her. Someone who would come and go and keep an eye on her house from afar. What were sisters made of? Always bland. My arms hurt. There was a cemetery nearby. Just beyond the tree line, not too far for the drones to reach, full of bodies all full of ghosts, buried and trapped under bodies, screaming and screaming, ready for harvest. The drones tunneled down into the graves, biting the corpses and sucking the ghosts out through their necks. They came together, spat them all out into a pile and glued them together, pulling and stretching until the whole mass was shaped kind of like a woman. A good enough sister, she thought. She'll shriek and make my life worse. Press her face against the windows and fill my rooms with jealous looks. Wow, fountain. I'm just gonna keep wandering, I guess. Now she had a husband to keep her company, and a sister to keep her angry. But what is the point of being a family if you don't have any kids? She should have two, she thought. A son and a daughter. They'd love each other and hate her, or love her and hate each other. My feel so dull and heavy. They'd bring life and motion and sound, filling up the walls with shivering worm noise and trying to dig out each other's eyes. Trees. Her son would be an inside relative, like her husband. Her daughter would be an outside relative, like her sister. It was easy enough to make her son. Boys are simple and sweet. She brought the drones home and used her teeth to bite herself up, sucking up her own blood and spitting it all together in a pool. Her son rose up out of it, made of it, and got right to work running amok all through the lower floors, staining the carpet and leaving smears on the walls. Her daughter would be more complicated, she told herself. Daughters always are, so she'd need to be made of complicated things. The spiders of the woods had their own hierarchy, ages old and complex as anything, and they had 8 legs. My veins missed the old poison. 2 large number of legs. In truth, the drones went raiding. The spiders fought, bit up the drones till they were nice and swollen, even tore a few of them apart, but once the drones grabbed the queen by the thorax and squeezed her until she burst, it was all over. The drones dragged the spiders together, and the spiders were too defeated to care. They mashed them up, squished them together, broken enough that they'd stick, but whole enough that there'd be plenty of legs and mandibles and eyes sticking out all over. I have such a lovely daughter, she thought with pride. Her daughter wasted no time vomiting webs all over the place. Some nights the daughter and the sister would meet, conspiring about how to kill her. It was wonderful, she thought, just how it should be. Time passed, like it's wont to do. For a while she was happy, but not for long. I used to burn once upon a time. He started to get bored. All the husband did was scrape his way through the same halls, the same order, whimpering the same pleas and scratching the same walls with the same cluster of sharp wooden twigs. "Don't you ever do anything interested?" she shouted. And he tripped and lay still for a long time. Then he just got back up and did his usual thing. Worthless man, she thought. I hope your hair comes undone and you fall apart. Her sister, on the other hand, was far too lively, no longer content to just smash her eyeless face against the glass. She had found herself some shears and knives to use as ham, and had taken to carving up the walls outside, scratching the paint and marking up the wood. Hateful woman, she thought. You're supposed to envy, not assert yourself. To make matters worse, she was spending far too much time with her daughter. Oh, okay, I can't really read this one. The daughter loved the sister. They had so much in common. After all, they were both made of dead things. They were both locked out. It's made her angry. You're supposed to make my daughter hate me, she thought. But instead you made her love you. And that's a whole different story. They went everywhere together. The daughter with her hundreds of slowly grasping spider legs. The sister with her ghostly sockets always weeping pale fluid. I'll make you pay for this, sister mine. She took solace in her son, the only one that truly loved her, that did anything right. But he was fast congealing, and each inch of carpet he dragged himself across or wallpaper he tripped and fell into took a little bit of him away. She didn't want to lose him like that, and so she made him come back to the basement. He tripped and fell down the stairs, splattered apart, and ended up just like he'd started, a pool of her blood. I'll miss you, she thought. Wrestling chains, only my own something. As the drone slapped him back up. She hated her family. They weren't what she wanted. The drones went to the husband, cornered him in a hallway, pulled out his hair. He fell apart, and they gathered up all the twigs and fallen branches and fed them to one of the living room's fireplaces. His smoke screamed and smelled like rotten teeth. Good riddance to bad rubbish, she thought. The sister, the drones lured into the woods with a pile of heirloom jewelry and old unsent letters. When she fell upon the pile to feast, they fell upon her, crushing her soft, pale skull and shredding her apart. All the ghosts that made her sink back down into the soil. No bodies to hold them anymore. They were free. I've done a good thing, she thought. Her daughter was a sad, useless by Oh, this is very intense. The drones pulled her apart, little by little, separating out the slick, chitinous little corpses she was made of. She didn't fight, didn't even bother to say goodbye. Ungrateful, she thought. I should never have had a daughter to begin with. The spiders were gathered up beside the corpse of their queen and buried. The drones didn't bother leaving a marker on the grave. And so she was alone again. Just her and her sinew and her gnashing teeth, alone in that house, in that basement. The drones built monuments over the corpses of her family while she slept. She passed the time talking to herself, making the drones chew off parts of her, trying to will the house to shake apart. It never did, no matter how much she pulled at the walls. She felt very empty. I hope someone visits me soon, she thought. That's what Bleeding time. That'd be a surprise. So she opened a little path in the woods near the house and waited. As long as they don't talk to my dead family, I'm sure they'll come visit me. I'll invite them in and let them come see me. And then I'll have the drones chew off all their skin. And I won't be alone anymore. I won't be alone anymore when they come visit me. And I've let them in, and they've come to see me, and I've chewed off all their skin. I won't be alone anymore. It'll be so nice not to be alone. I won't be alone anymore. I hope someone visits me soon. Never really open at all. What I have to do? Oh, that is the end of that one, I guess. That one sure was intense. Alrighty. With that, I think we can go ahead and tackle the last game of this anthology called Tenement. This one looks very lengthy because there's a lot of controls on this one. Tenement. The content warnings for this one are suicide and death ideation and oppression. Let's get ready to rumble. We're gonna drink some water. I'm doing so much reading. Okay, graphic settings. I like how there's a graphic. These graphics qualities are miserable, rough, not great, whatever. Not bad and good enough. I'll do whatever. Fascinating. I'll change all the settings in advance, or I'll get set to Tenement. Okay, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Oh, this movement. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me review these controls. Left mouse button to interact, space to jump, plus minus to increase text scroll. Okay. F5 to restart scene. I don't know if I can interact with something. Where am I supposed to go? What if I just go off the map? Can I interact with this? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm going off the map now. Farewell, cruel world. Oh, hello there. A hole. Many holes. Oh. More sewer. A ladder. Hello. Oh. Kitty. But red. Orange? Why orange? There's a blue light over there. Oh, hello there. Ooh. Where do you come from? Sorry, that's maybe a little personal. I ask because you don't look like the rest of us, but also because I was gonna ask if it had any basements. Where do you come from, I mean? Like the town or the city? Basements fascinate me. They're like the ocean, you know? So depthless and unfathomable. And they're just right there under our feet going down who knows how far. I don't know how anyone can walk past one of those stairways without being just absolutely desperate to go down and see where it leads. I did just exactly that one time. I remember I was going home one night, only I didn't want to go home because my apartment was dying and in a lot of pain, so it was lashing out. So I passed by this basement staircase next to the storm drain in the street I'm on, and okay. And I just go, okay, wait, I can slow it down, right? Yes, I can. I just go down not really caring what happens to me. It was the most wonderful thing I ever experienced. I remember feeling like the staircase was chewing me up. Like I was being twisted and turned all around, and the stairs would end, and I would come out at these places that are just so hard to describe. There's this one, okay, so like, imagine the inside of a chemical plant, only it's also like a sewer, everything all concrete and damp, machines and pipes all over, and it's this big space, like a warehouse almost, or, I don't know, a submarine bunker. And in the middle of the space there are these huge holes in the ground, maybe 50 feet across. They're bots, right? And I looked over the edge of one and down maybe 20 or 30 feet, and you can see that it's just full of wet autumn leaves being churned and stirred by something underneath them. The smell of dirt and wet leaves just hit me full in the face, nearly knocked me back, it was so strong. I remembered I tried to get a picture of it and dropped my cell phone down in it, and when it fell, the deafening alarm started going off and the whole area filled with red light. I ran like hell. The staircase leading back up had changed to lead down instead, but I took it because what are you going to do? I don't remember where it led me though. Here I guess in a roundabout way. Huh. Okay. Blue light. I guess these black patches on the ground are significant. Sunday endoscopy marathon. Giant hornet slug versus rural midwestern town. Ugh. Okay. Oh, hello there. I'm going to avoid reading because there's a lot to read in this one. A hotel. Going to the city. Crowded into a lobby with dozens of hopefuls. I need to meet the people who had been there before and they tell you some of their experiences. I'm going to keep reading because I can't help it. There was a real sense of brotherhood to it, a shared wonder that brought you together, and when the person at the front desk would appear and announce that a new room had been born and cleaned and was ready, I should have been there. Instant, quiet, excited silence until the desk person called out the numbers. The first to visit a newborn room was like winning the lottery. Rooms that would pull the skin right off your bones, rooms that snapped you and ground you up, rooms with floor made of spider skin and walls made of wasp bone where everything stank and buzzed and howled and you'd come back out broken. Huh. The grand and final room. The one where the hotel's heart and mind and eyes and soul were. You get to be the one to sink your knife into its brain and kill the hotel for good and all, and the city would remember you forever. Huh. Then they went and developed a chemical and just poisoned them all, cured, they said, the problem of hotel infestation solved forever. Well, they solved the problem of a whole national pastime in the process. Huh. Is there an evil in your world like that? Why? You're so unserious. Is this where I started? I don't think so. I can sneak this way. Hello there. Tall building on the other side of town. With the blue light, don't go into that building. Oh. I didn't know you could go into it. Go and start walking around in there. Emptied out office floors, old style manor floors, refrigeration floors. Door in the stairwell nailed shut with boards. Break down the boards and get to the door open. Typical exposed wood, pink insulation, unfinished basement type floor. Big box shapes that are like metal and glass. Okay. Cages or like aquariums and there's people in them. Only like if you took all the bones out and hung them up in a closet. Just hanging in those things, soft mouths, all opening and closing but not making any noise. Or maybe they were in the cage things were soundproof. So I'm thinking this is just like a sex thing and these are all just a bunch of rich perps getting up to it. But then I look close at the aquarium and one of this one and its face is all wet and mucousy and looks fresher than the other ones do. Greasy trails like the thing in there has been slapping away at the wall with its hand. I don't think it wanted to be in there at all. I sure as shit didn't after that. Grossed me out, could barely keep food down for 2 days. What a joke. Huh. Fascinating. Thank you for sharing. Does it mean I can go in the building with the blue light? Oh, is this where I started? Oh, there's a bench here. Hello there. I never got to travel much, that's my big thing, I guess. Big regret. We all have one, like one big regret we can't get over, and that's why we're here. Living in the same town with the same rows and rows of cookie-cutter houses, always night, streetlights never coming on. My friend, whose name I forget, he used to travel sometime with his family and he would bring me back stuff. A videotape from a place he'd gone during winter break. He told me to watch it alone, and it was this black and white video of a woman from the shoulders up, only her eyes and mouth were empty, like no teeth or eyeballs or whatever. Just black holes, and she's up against a black wall and she's talking. She just stood there with her lips moving and there was a voice but it was muffled and it was saying these words in a different language. I don't think she was speaking sentences. 7 hours of that. It was very mechanical and sharp, like old metal. I never did figure out what it was and it makes me feel stupid and sheltered. It didn't matter though, because as I stared at her at that black empty mouth contorting, I started to get the message like it was being rolled over my brain with an ink roller. And the language didn't matter because the ink would just fill in the cracks. She was talking about a tower someplace under some kind of lockdown. It was so nice I started crying. From then on, whenever I'd wake up scared at night and yell out my parents' names and then find out the house was empty and I was alone, I'd turn on that tape and it'd comfort me. You can't find anything like that in a small town. They don't make things like that there. Things like art, you know. Or just things that feel important. Things that don't make you feel like your soul's being sucked out. Through the bottoms of your feet. Sorry for the yawn. Huh. Interesting. Whoa! Fuck! Okay, well. I fell down again. Because I'm stupid. Oh, hello there. That room was mine. They had no right. I paid my rent for 100 years. Who the hell are they to force me out? My skin is in those walls. The carpet knows how I taste. So much of my flesh and blood and puke and mucus has gone down those drains, clogging up the pipes. I'm caught in the room's throat. I'm a part of it. Sometimes I would push myself against the wall and my skin would start to melt and the wallpaper would knit its way around me. I'm an electrician. I sew nerve endings to I-beams and open eyes and make towers scream. They can't do this to me. I'll go to the housing authority, I'll show them all the scars, teeth marks up and down my arms, and I'll tell them to go to my apartment and check its breath, and they'll smell my sweat on it, and they'll know that it's mine. You can't evict someone from a place like that and give it to someone else. It'll chew them up, and anyway, it's mine. I don't ask for anything except the home that keeps me in its mouth. Who the hell do you think you are? Interesting. These are very beautiful descriptions. Okay, we're here again. Roadblock. Try not to fall off the map. Hello there. This reminds me of a little bit of when I'd stay at my grandma's house as a kid. Like staying with my grandma, I never had to see her, just listen to the things she'd cook from inside her room. I would spend a few hours every day sliding things under the door for her, but when she fell asleep I could do whatever I wanted. I'm going to drink water while I read. I always kept her pantry full of cereals, mostly the bad, flavorless ones. So that's what I'd eat. I was too little to cook, so I couldn't do anything with all the livers in the fridge. Lucky thing she ate them raw, or I wouldn't have been able to take care of her. Small room with no windows. Totally dark. A smell a little bit like incense and a little like burned toast. The room would start whispering things to you, or maybe it was just the floor whispering, and you'd feel the floor touching you. Like these little fingers just kind of feeling you out, looking for a way in. Not like anything creepy, like not a pervy thing. Just like the room sort of wanted to hang on to you. Like if a bed could tuck you under the covers by itself. I miss that old house. When she died, it died with her, so when I went the last time it was just this big hole in the ground full of putrid skin and long white bones. I had to sit on the lip of the hole for a week and just reread old comics until my parents came to get me. Whoa. That looked like I'll fall down it by accident. This is very started, huh? Right? Hello there. Yeah, I did. Okay. But there's a bright red light over there. Roadblock. Well, this one's also really bright and red. These shifting colors all over too are so interesting. Blue. Weighted. Is there one over there? I can't tell. No, just dumpsters. Here. Hello there. Ghosts. This building is full of ghosts. They crawl and slither and moan, but I don't know if you'd say they haunt. You look at this place and it seemed like the sort of building where ghosts would be stored, not the one they haunt. Have you seen the ghost up in 3B? The old head just shuffles around, moving by its jaw, and that long fat tongue just moaning and sobbing. And then you have the woman in 5A who just lays in her bathtub staring at her feet. Lighting is so important, like I'm very affected by my environment. I'll get all kinds of messed up if I'm someplace and the light looks wrong. The light in there, it kills moths. Oozes out of those paper fixtures. Slow this down. Lights just melts the wallpaper, that drab green-blue floral pattern. Now it just runs down the walls like nicotine residue. Those aquariums in his apartment put out some really nice lights, soft and blue. I wonder what the ghosts are like up in those top few floors. You can tell from the outside that the lights are off up there. Do you think ghosts get better or worse when it's dark? Do they get scared too? If you went into one of those dark rooms up there, do you think the ghost would freak out and start screaming with its huge twisted up teeth and come after you? That might be kind of funny. Something tells me they're just milling around in the dark though. Boring job, ask me. Boop. Okay. Where to next? That's the movie theater, I do remember that. This is the building with that blue light. No longer here? Question mark? Is it because I talked to them already? Oh, an alleyway. Oh, a TV. Ah. Bury the key. A broadcast is heard from another room. What? Okay. Sure? I don't really know what that means. Is there anyone else to talk to around here? Could always reset? Like, reset how? Like, jump off the edge, or... Oh, this part of the city is kind of weird and sloping. Isn't there a keybind for it? There's move, jump, run, interact. F5 to restart scene. Oh. Yeah. The TV's off. I think I talked to you before. I just wanted to get out, that was all. It didn't matter where I went. I hated that place so much and it hated me. It hated everyone, I think, but people just lived there anyway, as if they couldn't do anything to change it. So many of the old buildings downtown were getting soft, filling with pores, hatching wasps, and leaking chemicals all over the roads. Everywhere you went, people just sneered and sobbed. If you didn't sneer and sob, you didn't belong. I used to fantasize about getting in the car, throwing all my books and bottles and clothes and things in the backseat and just taking off for one night, never looking back. No care what's out on the road can't be any worse than staying still someplace like that. I doubt the town would be strong enough to pull me back. The state it was in, and even if it was, I don't think it'd care enough about me. town that, like, maybe a town like that hates you just as much as you hate it. I guess it's something we're calling all over me, and it didn't act like it belonged there, or didn't seem like it was enjoying it. I wouldn't want it on me either. Can't leave, you have to stay, you have to stay, you need a job, you work at the plant. Snake eating its own tail forever and ever. My mom tried to prepare me for a job at the ink plant. Every time we would pass one of those tumor things on a straight light, when we were walking home, she'd show me how to slit it with a penknife and suck the ink out without swallowing. Huh. Have I talked to you before? Trying to remember. I really can't stand taking the subway anymore. I get it, it's free and it's fast and it's convenient and we have to support them or else we'll die off. I guess it's more the stations I hate, or the platforms. I hate sitting down there waiting, sitting in pitch dark except for those emergency lights. And what's with those shapes that are moving around in the dark? Hanging people? Hands? Never been touched by one, so small mercies I guess, but they still just make me angry. I shouldn't have to put up with that just to get from A to B. I at least wish they'd lift the noise law so I could listen to music or something. Having to stay dead quiet makes everything so boring. I feel like I'm in a boarding school or something. Have you ever tried to walk a subway tunnel before the trains come or after it's just left? You'll never get where you're going, obviously, but that's not the point. You feel something. The tunnels, they sort of shiver, like the train's touch woke something up in them. If you go far enough, you'll start hearing noises from both directions, like distant screaming arguments, or old sad music, or the city's organs working, if it's not too long after the dinner hour. It's worth doing once. Might take a friend along with you and a real long piece of string or something. Do the whole Ariadne thing, just so you don't spend hours stumbling your way back out. There's a chance the train will come, but whatever, you get smashed into a fine mist, you'll come back tomorrow. I'd leave anything fragile at home though. Lockets, necklaces, treasured keepsakes, can't get those back. The subway tunnels take and keep. Huh. Interesting. Oh. Hello there. Oh good, you're back. I was just thinking about what you asked me yesterday. Oh, wait. No, you're not them, are you? You're someone different? Sorry I mistook you. It's hard to see. Do you want to hear what I was going to say anyway? I was going to tell you about this cul-de-sac I used to visit. The road only went so far as the end of the cul-de-sac and then stopped. Which is to say there were no inroads. It was just out there in the middle of some huge expanse of nothing. The only way you could get there was to dream about it or to have a doctor induce it with some chemical or other. You think you're alone there no matter how many other people are with you. You can't see or hear them, and whatever they do there, it doesn't affect you. This cul-de-sac is Midwestern suburban, plain drab little middle-class houses. Dark and empty, but the nice thing is if you go there and you wait long enough, one or two of those houses' front doors are going to open and then you can just walk in. And you can walk into the houses? Interesting. I remember going into one of the houses once and all the carpets were torn up and the walls unpainted, as though the house were still under construction. I went up to the top floor and went to the master bedroom, which is full of these wire mesh cages full of grasshoppers. The big dark grey ones all angry, banging around trying to get out. There were 3 windows in that room. 2 of them looked out onto the cul-de-sac, but one of them looked out over this long dark tunnel where each time you look, you'd see a distant figure start rushing toward you, loping with its 2 long limbs and face. You'd wake up before it got to you like you were just ejected or something. I was always curious to see the figure, but I wanted to wait until it got right up to the glass. But the house was never like that again after the time it was like that for me. Oh. A setting area. Huh. Oh, this is connected to the area where I first started. Huh. I think I talked to you already. What? Okay. I wonder if this game is actually recording when I'm like talking to people, and this actually will like end the game at some point, like the other ones have. Hello there. Building full of ghosts. Hello there. Hello there. Someone over there. Have I talked to you before? I think I have. You look familiar. Just wanted to get out. Did I just go jump off again? Okay. There he is. A lot smaller than I would have thought. Oh, hello there. My head hurts. I must have fallen. I feel split apart. My shoulders feel soft. Go and get a towel from the hall closet so I can clean myself off. God, there's blood everywhere. I must have fallen. Or she pushed me. She's just like that, the little harlot. Put me back into bed. Never mind, don't clean it, just leave it. The floor will drink it. Put me toward the window. I want to watch the sunset behind the tower. The view used to be so much clearer when I was young. You wouldn't understand, this is the only world you know. But when I was young, you could look out across the fields, over heaving fleshy backs of the worms beneath the soil, and their flesh film would glisten in the sunlight for miles and miles. It looked like you were staring out at the ocean. My bed is wet around my neck. I can feel my brains leaking out of my skull. Catch them for me. Tape me up. Close the door and lock it. I don't want her getting in here again. I want to look at the tower. It must be broadcasting. You can tell because if you look very closely, you see it vibrate and hum. It's subtle, but it's there. Or are my ears more sensitive than yours? Pull them out then if you're so envious. I don't care. I don't need them anymore, not if that's how you're going to be. Huh. Boop. Wonder if there's anyone else that's like down in the sewers then. Have to be super diligent. Was this one always here? Did I talk to you? I can't tell if this is non-Euclidean. Ladder. No. And you want Elijah. I want to explore more. Okay. Do you remember? I don't remember. I remember some things, I don't remember it all. God, it's like it got cut out. I remember there were nails and they cut my feet when I walked. Ribbons of skin trailing me, flapping and laughing and skittering and collecting ashes. I remember his eyes so wide, all those rotten teeth. So many teeth, rows and rows. I don't remember why I needed them. I don't remember, can you tell me anything? I'd like to remember. There's this feeling in my palms like there's things in there, crickets or termites, and they're swimming in my muscle and chewing up my memories. And I dig them out, but what did they do wrong? That's just what they do, it's only natural. I feel dizzy and my head hurts. Maybe I'm hungover. I drank so much of the stream with my head held under, I had to drink. I was thirsty and afraid and my feet kept hitting the concrete until they felt soft and painful and wet. I think I was laughing, but I can't remember. Fuck, I can't remember anything. Can you help me? Huh. Ladder room, I think I talked to you? That room was mine, right? Okay, let's see if there's any other. You. Then what about this one? Okay, I guess I'll just go back up for the time being. Does this game end at some point, or... Oh. Huh? Why is it normal? It does? When is this supposed to end? Do I actually need to make sure I interact with everyone? I mean, I guess I can try to do that at least. Oh, you're so bright. What the heck? I guess I didn't notice this character looking that bright when it was weird nighttime. Why does it look normal though? Just wandering around talking to ghosts and people, looking around this town. Did I talk to you? I don't think I have. No, it's the grandma's house. I remember this one. Okay. I think I talked to you before? The subway. Dubois. Alleyway. I definitely feel like I'm wandering aimlessly right now. Trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going. Where's that one alleyway? There's that alleyway with the TV, but I don't remember how I found it. Maybe I just look around carefully and check these buildings. I think it was a dead-end alley specifically, though. I'll have to be diligent in finding it. Where am I supposed to go? Exactly. I am a little confusion. Blue light. So blue. Does the theater showings change too? I think I only remember reading 2 of the sides. Fevered Visions of Empty Rooms, Sunday Endoscopy Marathon is the same. Giant Hornet Slug vs. Rural Midwestern Town is the same. Where is that dead-end alleyway? The music is so comfy. A lot more soothing considering what the first 3 first 3 game experiences were like. Sorry. I think I've been that way before though. Ooh, okay. Oop. I don't remember where that alleyway is. Unless it's like a different map and it only shows up when I'm in the weird, dark, twisted maze. Is it? TV? Huh? What if I'm assuming some of these places have, or some of these spots have characters that I have yet to talk to, like this one? Question mark. But no one's here. I do notice some of these characters appearing and disappearing, but I don't know why they do that. So it gives me confusion. I don't know if it's just random or something. Well, I don't think I'll remember where that alleyway is. No, I will. I definitely will. Where am I supposed to go? I think I'm gonna start getting motion sickness if I keep trying to do this right now. I feel like I can feel it coming in. The other people show up with reset. Okay, I guess I'll do this reset and then click again. Hello dear. If you remember, we go this way, and then this is where that alley is. Hello there. You know what I fucking hate? Those alleys that change. Look, don't preach to me, I've heard it. You're not supposed to go down alleys, they're not supposed to be there, the city doesn't want you to see them. What if you're in one when it closes? A girl has to get her rocks off somehow, alright? But those ones that change, god, those piss me off. Talk all you want about how bad they are, but there are some really nice alleys in the city where I lived. Sometimes they'd have these little concrete landings leading up to doors that looked like they were made of a dozen smaller doors. Pinkish bluish fluorescent lights hanging down over them, and you could tell by the smell of them that they lead to some kind of restaurant on the building's other side. Some fried food place or maybe noodles. Nice, right? Or sometimes there were alleys where no matter what time of day it was, no matter what state the city was in, the alley looked like it was the dead of winter in a small town full of brick buildings, where not a single light was turned on. Middle of the night, snow everywhere. That was maybe my favorite. Fire escapes, spirals of fire escapes going just as high as you could imagine, so high that they sway back and forth like cattails in the wind, and you could climb up and just sit down at the top and let it sway you, and look out over the city and watch the whale things sliding along the horizon and listen to the groaning of metal. But getting back to it, the whole thing is you find one of these alleys and it's the only thing in the goddamn world that makes you happy, or gives you any sort of pleasure for an hour, so you mark it down, and then the next time you're feeling like shit, like you just can't deal, you go back to the alley just hoping it'll be there, and you'll be able to find some chill. And then you get there and it's just different. Something different, always worse than whatever it was before. It wouldn't even be so bad if it was just gone. I like to think when the alleys close, they open up somewhere else in the city, just exactly like they were before. But when they change, that's it. Never the same again. So you guess they move around? What do you mean move around? Or do you mean they just appear and vanish? The alley? There's only two alleys I can think of, and the alleys are always in the same place now that I'm going. Oh, hello there. It's not so bad here, really it's not. What I mean is there are worse places we could have ended up. And while yes, I understand that, the fact that it could be worse doesn't mean it's okay. I think it's important to try and look at things positively, right? Perspective. Honestly, for me, this is an improvement. I don't know where you come from, but I grew up in an industrial town. The factory was the nucleus of the town, where all the jobs were, the main source of income. It manufactured vehicle parts, mostly cardiovascular and endocrine. Not exactly rocket science, very blue collar. The whole town tasted like smoke because it was just caked all over everything, the soot and grime. There's so much awful stuff you have to put up with growing up in an industrial town. The people never smile because their work takes that out of them. So it feels so unwelcoming even if you were born and raised there. Sometimes, the factory would sicken and close down, and then you'd wake up and all the streets downtown would be flooded with blood that had congealed overnight. And you can imagine how that smells. Just the smells in general were enough to make you want to be anywhere else. Downtown at night, it was just bars and bars and bars. Brick buildings and neon signs and open pub doors pouring out noise. All the factory workers would go there and just get liquored up, watching the dollhouse broadcasts on repeat, shouting accusations at each other. Pardon me. Over every little thing. It's just a done thing in those towns how you unwind. Then everyone drags themselves home at night, crawls into bed, and wakes up and does it again the next day. They'll try to fill your ears with notions of honest work, but that's no kind of life, is it? None of them seemed happy, so I don't know. At least here you don't wake up with streets full of clotted blood. That's good, I guess. Definitely don't want streets with spotted blood or whatever. Living buildings must suck. I guess it depends. Or anywhere else? Anyone else, I guess, specifically? What? Sorry. Hello? I keep losing my bearings every so often. But it's like, does not help very much when I do lose my bearings. I feel like there's supposed to be someone there. Because everything in this world is living? Yeah. What? Except the residents, everything, they're like animal skulls. Oh, just because they're skulls doesn't mean they're not alive. Is the game tracking who I'm talking to in between resets, or like... This is very lengthy. Which is great, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of this, but like... I just... Confusion, I guess, in what I'm doing. I think I talked to you already, right? On the patio alley person to spawn. Can I just keep refreshing? Whoa. What the heck? Oh, is it just fucking random? Like, the way the city just spawns? Like, ambience-wise? Holy shit. Oh, this part is sealed off. This alley's different. So there's like 3 different ways for the city to spawn, I guess, so far. I think I talked to you before. You wanted to get out, right? Where the someone is supposed to be here? I don't know if I've like seen them spawn before though in that spot. If that part of the alley was blocked off that one time, then maybe I can go into the theater? Is this notably less comfy? Yeah? Wait, did I check the alley here? What if I refresh? Oh, it changes to the... We're in the red, orange... Weeping Light city now. And this one is also like fenced off. That's where I started. Maybe the previous one was like an evening vibe and this is like a nighttime vibe. No streets with blood here, I guess. Hopefully not. Ghost person is here. Right. And this alleyway. Very You wanted to get out, right? Yes, you did. Oh, hello there. It's better for me this way, no form at all. I like how it feels. I feel like mist or water, like rubber, like TV static. It's a nice cold, warm, glowy feeling, like I can just drift and flicker. You get it, right? Having a body was so complicated and unrewarding. I remember this one time I woke up, my hands had grown out. The skin had gone all green and slick like a frog's skin. And these fingers, foot half long at least, it was like they just didn't have bones anymore. They sure looked like they had bones, but damned if I could pick anything up. So that was my whole week, just shuffling around my apartment, trying and failing to pick things up, sobbing to myself. I was able to turn my TV on with my mouth, so there was that, I guess. I'd hated having to eat and sleep, all this upkeep. And oh shit, do you remember how heavy you'd feel? It feels even more extreme to think back on it. Now when you're like this and it's like, I don't have any weight on me at all. But even back then I felt it, just so heavy dragging all this meat around, this crying, changing, aching, hungry, tired meat. No food was ever enough, you'd just get hungry again. You were always tired just dragging yourself from one sleep to the next. Your teeth would rot and eyelids would appear in weird places with no eyes behind them, just sockets. Think about teeth, exposed bits of bone that will rot over time. Seems like a defect. I guess some people were into fucking and they all seemed pretty wild about it, like they'd just go on and on about it, but it was never my thing. Even if it was, I can't imagine it would have made it worth it. Maybe the only feeling I liked was rain. I miss rain. I like to sit out on my balcony during the rainstorms, watching those bloated whale things just hanging in the sky, with their guts pouring down, and the rain would fall on my skin all warm and cool at the same time, and then when it stopped, everything had that warm concrete smell. I wouldn't mind feeling those things again, but I wouldn't go back just for that. Not worth it, generally speaking. Okay. Is anything else? Is there other people? Are there others that I have not talked to in this city? Is my quest of searching still not done? Ooh. I'm gonna refresh. Oh, this one's different. Well, this area is all set up. You're still here. This is really hard to see stuff. Looks like it's raining, basically. I keep looking back around. Let's maybe not do that. To like, is the theater different maybe? I don't know. Good night, have a fun content warning filled night. Thank you, Acer. Have a good night. I give you forehead kisses. Mo mo mo. Thank you for lurking. No. The hotel. I get it. Have the showings page? This theater's exposed. Beating heart. Motion pictures of wolf people screaming at things. Fines. Oh. It's changed this time around. I see a wreck. Is that like the edge of the skybox, actually? Pretend like we didn't see that. Hello there, skybox edge. Ha 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 ha. That really is skybox. Skybox edge. I'll reset. Is this one different too? Oh, whoa. This one has the vein effect thingy happening. Hey, I'm sorry I talk but shit. Are you feeling this? It's like, oh god, I don't know, but fuck, I can barely stand it. A heavy burning, feel like skin splitting or cracking. I don't know, god, it's bad. It's never been this bad. I don't think what you'd, hey, wait a minute, what you'd... Purge. Does that mean everyone says something different? What's wrong with the air? Why do I feel the need to breathe? What do you do? Look at it. Look at you, it's all over you. You know something about this. You have something to do with this. Oh. Things have actually changed. Can't help you, I can't, you have to, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Do you feel this? Something wrong? I'm not supposed to feel like this. Well, something's definitely happening. Can you please just, what's that in your, if you could just please... What's happening? I don't like this is wrong, this isn't supposed to happen here. Back there, maybe back where I came from, but this is wrong. There isn't supposed to be any more, I don't understand. Okay, the movie... It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Listen, you have to stop. You have to. Don't you understand? Don't you see what's happening? This isn't right. It's hurting us. It's standing us down. You can't keep doing this to us. You have to stop. Please, please, please stop. Is constantly resetting doing something? What if I do a silly teehee fall down? What then? Oh, hello there. I have to remember the lot. I have to remember the street I was on. The dog that got me is back there. It stopped moving after it got me. I saw it. It must still be there with my skin filling up its metal stomach, processing and grinding. It got over the fence and looked down, and my leg was just wet muscle. No more skin. I kept moving, though, until I didn't. I found that house and went in through the window, and they had the nice bedroom in there with the full bed and the pictures of a lake. Don't know how long I slept there. Maybe I'm still sleeping there. Feels a little like a dream down here. My skin feels wet and sallow like in a dream, like if I opened it up I'd just be full of air and smoke. Maybe I will. You're not going to stop me, are you? I have to get back to that lot and see if the dog's still there. I need the skin of my leg back. I had a key that I kept under that skin and I don't have it anymore. So that means the dog must have it. I can just see it there, the little prick, is ticking away, digesting me. The slats on its back ventilating that red mist they make, just staring into the middle distance making that droning breathing noise. I need that key. Huh. Ooh. Okay, what happens if I go back up? I think that also technically counts as affecting the city, right? Okay, we're back in the silly iris effect. Branchy land. I can see the game audio mixer is actually, hold on. A little loud. Let me turn it down a little more. Sorry. Should have caught that. What if I reset again? Oh! It is changing things. That's so interesting. Please stop. It hurts. Oh, the area is different now. Please stop, it hurts. Please stop, it hurts. Please stop, it hurts. Where am I heading? Seems a lot of this town layout has been altered, so I don't really know where I'm actually heading. Oh, it's a different kind of alley? No, it's a similar alley. Oh, whoa. Interesting. This is so unnerving. It seems like part of the layout is similar. But maybe they fully blocked off the edges so I can't be silly and walk off. Okay, so if I go this way, I should reach... Can I go to the theater? I would like to go to the theater. Hello there. Should I reset again? not like there's anything else I can really do. Devastating no wolf people's movie? Stop. I'm gonna reset. Oh. You used us up. We are angry. Come back tomorrow. Whoa. Oh, there's someone there. There's like a face there. Baby Jill. Let me out of Baby Jill. That's so unnerving, that face. That shows up right there on the splat. Me. So is that it for the game? Or... This is the end state, basically? Ah. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Thank you, Nightbot. That sure is a good timed warning. Doot, 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 doot. Okay. I guess let's just hop back to the front desk while we talk about that. Let me... Hold on, I have to... Let me go fix some... Not that. Here. Just so I can fix this for future references. I don't remember what the game audio thing, OBS thing was at, but let's do that for my sanity. You think that was probably on the more tangible end? I guess so. Those are all most definitely like surreal and stuff. Well, obviously, but that was pretty cool. I think there's a lot of like interesting themes to explore with all those games, but I think my brain is like fried from seeing all of that right now. And I'm kind of just like, it was sure a lot. I really like that last one though. There's some really interesting things that a lot of the characters were saying around the city for sure. Very silly, very cool. Exclusions though was super abstract, yeah. That one definitely was just straight up just like radioactive, but like there definitely seemed to be something underlying, especially with like the way it showed colorful images of what things used to be, and then that weird entry and the actual tower and stuff. Lethargy Hill was really interesting. I like the Lethargy Hill in the way I was kind of just running around being like woo, 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 woo. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'll just stop moving around and read. I say as I continue to move around while reading. But that was a very interesting story for Lethargy Hill. Grandmother's Garden, I was like, it was okay. You dig hole, you fall in hole. I like the descriptions on the tombstones, though. I love all the body horror and bug related body horror descriptions that have been used, because I do love my body horror stuff. Because it's also not necessarily like body horror, but it's also this idea of just like a very abstraction of like body stuff, I guess. And like it's represented in a way that you have things like hands growing and parts of your body covered or turned into bugs, especially in Grandmother's Garden, and then the way in Tenement where you actually have some of the different residents talking about things like how they worked at factories and they made stuff for like body systems and stuff, and the streets would just coagulate with blood and stuff like that, and the buildings would talk, and the buildings, you would merge with your buildings and stuff, that sort of thing. That sort of an abstraction of body. Things that feel distinctly different in it feels tangible, but in a different way that we can't ever experience. I think that's like the whole thing about it. Try not to keep burping here, but yeah, the whole. I think there are multiple residents that kept talking about how they're like, yeah, just the whole living buildings and a living inn, a hotel that you kill, a hotel with a beating heart that you drive your knife through. Having a body sucks so true. It's interesting. I wonder if it's also like how do you describe it? Like brain gears turning. Hold on. Like it's like the more and more we reset the world to like talk to more of the residents and try to absorb what they're feeling, it feels super analogous to the fact that we're purposely trying to take their abstraction of body and their experiences and try to consume it in a way that makes sense to us in our limited bodies and stuff. And so in a way, it's like it also feels like as the game progressed to the end part where they were like telling us to stop doing that because of the pain, like we're trying to understand distinctly what it is that they're experiencing, and like the different experiences that they have, that we're kind of consuming them in a arrogant, selfish way, I guess. It was really lonely though, like the entry about not being loved right and not being understood, and all the entries trying to figure out its purpose and continuing to just not understand despite trying to. It has a good relation to the whole radioactive part that keeps being like posited. Like the whole fact that they've been trying to understand this whole religious temple. Your body is a temple. But like more than that, this like the inability to understand someone's inner machinations presented in the lens of a mysterious religious institution that they're like, we don't understand what this religious institution actually served, sort of thing. We don't understand what its true origins were. We can make extrapolations on it based on things related to it, things in the area, things that are neighboring it, but we struggle to understand the actual true inner workings and true reasons of existence behind the religious institution, and by extrapolation in a allegorical sense, like the person mentioned in the entry, I guess. And I guess the radioactive part kind of lends to the whole like either just the whole isolation part that happens when you know, with radioactivity you have to like you have to like not be in the area at all. You can't interact with anything that's in the area, that sort of thing. It leaves things in a solitary, isolated state. But it's also like people are still trying to come in and understand, even as things reach a more dilapidated state. Yeah. I'm gonna drink water, hold on. I might have nightmares tonight. I won't, probably. But I like these sort of games that aren't like the jump scare kind, but just their atmosphere is so unsettling enough that I can feel like I can't just walk through my house to the bathroom, because it's not that they rely on actual monsters or jump scares or anything. It's just that the atmosphere is pulled off so well that I think so much about. And it's not just the atmosphere itself, but it's also the fact that it's so interesting and it pulls you in with the tantalizing allegories and metaphors that they use. Because I'm a sucker for that. Let's see. I don't know how to feel. I'm trying to. How do I interpret grandmother's garden? It's very like. It's interesting. I don't get the whole digging thing at the end, but I get the whole gist of the whole. I don't know if it was 10, but like the buried. I don't know what like the word. I don't think criminals is like the right word here. You know, these people that are dead, and I guess they're like feeding this like root of evil, you know? And I guess it's like tied to like the whole fact that there's like a little silly religious Bible that you read in the house and stuff. So it's this whole like religious aspect again, but more in the lens of what is considered holy and what is considered unholy, and the fact that the unholy is being sealed away and is now coagulating into the silly taproot thing that is growing around all of the graves and stuff. The grave where the MC was like, that was the first one I buried all myself with, so yeah. It's very a lot also of like a description of like the common follies of like humanity, right? And I guess it's like, if assuming the MC of that was also female, it also takes like an interesting turn in regards to some of the graves that were mentioned, like the voyeur. And hold on, what does lecture mean again? A lecture, that one too. Yeah, I'm just trying to get like figure out the whole part at the end, I guess. Like committing evil and banishing evil in its own, and you are also destined to make your own grave as a result? I don't know. So what other ways could this be interpreted? That's kind of what you were thinking? I'm trying to think of what else there could be. Like a religious fanaticism or like beliefs of in a like a distorted belief system. The grandmother was preparing her to do this kind of work for so long that so that she can prey on the MC and then like that too. So like grooming, basically, like quite literally digging your own grave because it's the work you've been taught. Interesting. Is there anything else I wanted to say about the first one? No, I think the first one I think I have said everything I needed to do since I felt like I needed to say, because the analysis on that one was pretty interesting now that I started to think about it. Lethargy Hill is very... It's so very self-destructive, delusion-driven. Lethargy Hill. Lethargic. Delusion, dreaming. You know. Creating family members of your own as a delusion for a happy family, but either out of parts of yourself or from outside parts. Control freak? Is that the phrase you're trying to look for? It's very like a lack of like pure isolation, a lack of proper contact, and you feel super delusional. You don't know. You know the concept of this or that, but you don't practically know it. So like how the matriarch conceptually knew of a family, but practically that wasn't exactly how a family would work. And all she could do was try to make it match all she knew conceptually. She was so focused on how she wanted them to make her feel and wanted to curate that space, yeah. But all she did was either make them out of pieces of herself, like, again, conceptually how she understands, or pieces of the outside world, the things that she's observed and learned, which is also a very limiting lens, depending on how much information you pull from it, in order to, like, put together this concept and this ideal place that she wants. But all she does is gets frustrated with it. She takes it apart and tries to put it back together using the same things over and over again to create or not create these things. There's nothing new, it's all the same, doing things over and over, watching these ideas merge in ways they shouldn't be, but because she doesn't have any other piece to work with to make it match what she wants. It's one-dimensional. It lacks nuance and depth. You feel like even though she says she wants someone that she didn't make to visit, she's still gonna like try to turn them into something she wants. Yeah, she like is idealizing the idea of someone visiting, and after that person visits, another person visiting. I think that's what like the ending text of the story was like for Lethargy Hill. Like someone will keep visiting again and again. She's so sure of it. Like even after all of those failures, she's like, I'm sure things will go my way. It'll happen the way I want it to. Something new for me to experience that I want to conceptualize and assume will go the way I would think it to go. Something like that. Okay, me knocking on my desk accidentally makes my mic detected, sorry. Yeah. Other than that, I said a lot about the last one, Tenement, already. Is this metaphorical? The way body is abstracted is so nice. It's not just typical body horror. Ooh, I'm living in a body system. Ooh, I'm living in arteries. No, it's very visceral. It's so visceral of understanding like a deeper connection that people have in specific, like when they go to different places to find somewhere that they relate to and they feel like they can actually like breathe, and that their living spaces breathe as well and are living and beating with life as the heart pulsates beneath these buildings and stuff. It's tinkering. Part of the yawning, sorry. I think also just the idea that all of these residents had so many different things to say, whether it's like how alleys would change and they wouldn't feel the same anymore, or how someone wanted to get out from where they used to be, where things were just you live, you grow up, you go to school, you get a job and stuff like that, or fading nostalgia of like their grandmother's house. Stories of things yearned for, stories of things loathed and missed because they no longer exist, of grief and mourning and missing, and of leaving things behind happily. You believe Kitty Horrorshow is trans femme, so she does a lot on body horror and how that relates to the trans experience? I see. It's a very good way to like explore trans experience for sure, I think. And just in general, like being trans and non-binary, like when we played Gendirect, just the idea of like metaphor and allegory for something that you can't just simply encapsulate with just pure normal literal wording, but yeah, it's thinking about that more, it's like the idea of merging and becoming one with your like skin wise, and your skin merging with the rooms and buildings that you live in. It's like, one, the fact that you're shaped by where you grow up in, and two, the way that feels, either you interpret that as you find yourself actually at home, like some of the residents talking about their places feeling like that, or that one person who got kicked out of the room, that's where they belong. they merged with that space. That's where they feel comfortable, where their body felt comfortable being a part of that room. Or you interpret it as they feel like they are, I think one of the residents was like, I feel associated with that, or they associate me with like my hometown or something, and I don't want to be associated with that. I don't want to be linked to these things that were associated with my old life, who I used to be, what I am no longer a part of, what I am no longer identifying as. I think it was really cool off the bat for my first entry for Tenement to be the one of like, where do you come from? It's very like, the way they ask is so, they made it so, like their wording is so genuine, and they're not like trying to ask in a very disparaging way, and connecting with like the other themes and metaphors that potentially come off through this work. It's very like, what is your story? What have you given up, or what kind of baggage have you left behind? Sort of vibe. The hotel entry is like, unlawful, non-consensual control of one's body to the point of killing it, right? Of filling up these hotel rooms and eventually looking forward to just the idea of killing off a hotel when you find a room where you can stab it in the heart. Interesting thought. Interpretation, I guess, they came up with. You want there to be a dungeon crawler roguelike spin-off game about the hotel? Oh my god. Go play Side Order. I'm not sure what else I want to say about this anthology, but it's really nice to play really abstract stuff like this, where there's a lot of deeper interpretations that you can make out of it, and just kind of like sit for a moment and just kind of think about it for a bit, because it's so nice to have a lot of the usual world building stuff where there are deep themes and stuff, but you also like, you really start to critically think and make and actually try to make knots in the dark when you have stuff like this, instead of explicit things listed out like Arknights being like, hello, this world is oppressed, and it's what is the right way to fight back against government, whether through peaceful or aggressive means, or like Splatoon, post-apocalyptic, the resurgence of human culture, and you know, stuff like that. What it means to be human if things are imperfect or perfect, like Octo Expansion DLC. It's just so raw in its metaphorical usage that it's very nice to just absorb that instead, you know, like You rarely see these kind of vignette length games that call for thinking like this, yeah. I really like seeing the atmospheric horror or surreal horror stuff, but I feel like I don't see enough of it where it specifically explores these bittersweet aspects of the human psyche, which is like very much what I want, and it's something I relate to want in regards to like that was another weird burp. The sort of stuff I want to explore or think about when it comes to my own world building, even if I don't have things fleshed out, or even if I don't actually intend on doing like a comic or a video game or anything. Just the idea that the human psyche is something to explore in these very raw, uncomfortable lenses. Specifically, there's so many different lenses. Like, look at this stuff. Yeah, it's definitely some inspiration that I can take. Even if I can't see the links yet, there's some stuff that might work for my own world building, and we'll have to see. But yeah, I guess I should wrap the stream now. I think I would like to sleep early tonight, just in case. I think sleeping early would be good for my sanity, perhaps. Yeah, sorry, I'm just zoning out. Let me go ahead and do our outro. You spent 70% of today sleeping. Oh, God. I wish I could have taken some naps today to compensate for the fact that I got only like 5 hours, 6. I got like a score of 50 something, and I don't think I've ever seen my score like that unless my phone has been glitching out when I have Pokemon Sleep on. So very, very concerned. Anyway. Lord Almighty. Let's go ahead and wrap stream, folks. Thank you everyone for chilling with me. I know a lot of people couldn't really entirely chill with me because this game really tackled some really dark stuff, and with the metaphors and allegories was really creepy, but it's the stuff I like to enjoy. If you did enjoy the streams at least, or like enjoying your time with me, I hope you are following, so you can look forward to more streams. And if you want to see more streams, you should be in my Discord server, because that way you can get the links, or my stream schedules, because that's really the only place I post them. Because my social media is dedicated to posting my art. I recently, just today, posted the first batch of stream sketches that we've done, and I'm looking forward to doing more on stream, hopefully. Which means more Get Sketched loser raffles eventually, so that'll be fun. And of course, aside from doing art, I am also a coder, so first of all, in case you haven't seen, my chatbot has been chatting and giving us our outro stuff, and it's also been telling us about the silly little game I coded, along with our daily stamp point reward, so you can track how many times you've been to my streams. Very fun. Thank you, Shitrona, for recommending this game anthology to me. After this, we have only gaming streams for the for the rest of the week. Thursday is also art, and so is Saturday. Sunday, I did not schedule a stream just in case I wanted to also rest that day, so that might be a guerrilla stream if I do feel like doing a stream Sunday, but I am trying to tone things down, because otherwise the only other gaming thing I said I'd do would be more Etrian Odyssey post-game story. Post-game exploration, technically, because story is like very second nature to that game. And I don't know if there's really any other games that I like specifically want to play right now. There are. It's a lie. I'm lying. There's a lot. There's quite a few. I still need to continue Mega Man Battle Network on stream. Play the games that I've actually touched before. I have so many things on my Steam wishlist. Not funny at all. it's been hard because it's like I haven't really been wanting to play any games off stream for myself, especially PC games. Like the only thing I've really been playing for myself offline is like Arc Knights, and that's just for grinding. Pokemon Sleep also doesn't count because that's helping me regulate my real life schedule. And then Splatoon is literally because I can't stream it in the first place. Yeah. I guess I've just been like keeping myself in a more art music, like I want to create instead of absorb sort of mood. Well, I'm doing both, but it's like I want to absorb if it's going to directly feed into me creating. I guess that's what that is. Interesting thing to think about. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap up stream because otherwise I'm going to be chatting forever. So I think for rating out, well, Clover's online. I think we rated Clover last time, right? Quite literally last time when we finished Chance of Sonar. But we can send love to Clover again just so we can head off and say hello as Clover is playing. I'll just do this to make it easier on myself. The Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley game. Apparently that's a game. I don't know if that's like new or anything. It's happened. So let's give Clover lots of love. We'll be using this as our raid message for Clover. Let me unpin this message first, so it doesn't block any other things that are happening. And let's go ahead and get this raid started. Comfy hippo cows. I don't really know anything about Moomin or whatever, so I can't really say. But thank you all for chilling with me. As always, make sure to get that raid message and don't spam it in Clover's chat, send it only once. If you have a sub in my channel, please feel free to append sub emotes onto your raid message, otherwise you can leave it alone and just use the raw no sub emote method format that SitBonBot posted. I'll see you all probably Thursday for some art. It might be some new random doodling, or I might start an illustration if I get around to doing it, because there has been some... I've had ideas for illustrations that I still haven't gotten around to doing it yet, so maybe I can get myself to fucking do it on stream. But we'll see. But for now, thank you all for chilling with me in Liminal Space. I hope you enjoyed these thought-provoking games by Kitty Horrorshow. Thank you Toad, Citrona, Acer, and Magic. Tonight was pretty quiet. Yeah. I'll see you all on Thursday. Bye. Mwah, 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 mwah.